An after image causes you to see something that is not really there, like false evidence appearing real. In this case, it demonstrates that you have to stop looking at, in other words, you have to forget, the sadness in order that it will not color the rest of your life. Look at the dot in the center of the building and just keep staring at it for 30 seconds without blinking or looking away. This is about how long it takes to get incredibly bored at looking at a funny colored building in a video about fun philosophy. Soon it will change to another photo and it will be colored. And if you look away from the dot, you will see that it is actually black and white. It demonstrates visually how you're conditioned by the past. Your attitudes are colored. And sometimes you have to forget, look away, to see reality the way it is. This is the continuation of the section on forgetting. And we're talking about replacement memories. We can bring back memories stored in long-term memory and enhance their power through the use of short-term memory, which can be changed in a variety of ways, including meditation, exercise, and drugs. We're going to take a little walk today and talk about the last subject. One of my favorite books, The Botany of Desire by Michael Pollan, explains the benefits of forgetting in his chapter about cannabis. He uses cannabis to represent the human desire of intoxication. Intoxication or altered states of awareness through the use of outside help, namely drugs, seems to be universally sought after in all cultures. The only exception is the Eskimos, who live where there are virtually no naturally occurring plants to help evoke altered states. But they quickly adapted to the expression of this desire when these things became available. Most cultures promote one or two plants that alter awareness and prohibit others. Apples were considered evil during the prohibition of alcohol in the USA because they are used to make alcoholic cider, while at the same time you could buy tinctures of cannabis or opium in any pharmacy in the USA. Today in the Middle East, many countries prohibit alcohol due to the Quran's prohibition, but at the same time, sharing a pipe of opium is commonly accepted social custom. We often forget how absurd human customs and laws can be, particularly when we only look from one perspective or one awareness. If we detach ourselves from our habituated awareness or forget portions of it, we can see the world from different perspectives. The texture of consciousness under the influence of cannabis is well known for an enhanced sense of beauty and novelty, where all the senses seem to be more receptive. According to Wikipedia, among the effects of being, quote, high on cannabis are feelings of well-being, relaxation or stress reduction, euphoria, increased appreciation of humor, music, art, joviality, introspection, increased sensuality, increased awareness of sensation, creative or philosophical thinking, and marked distortions in the perception of time and space, typically taking the form of stretching time or making short increments seem much longer. That's why people drive very slow when they're high on cannabis. They shouldn't be driving, but yeah, that's the reason. These effects could be a result of the main active ingredient in cannabis, THC, mimicking similar chemicals called cannabinoids in our bodies that act as filters in our consciousness, allowing us to forget a massive amount of stimuli. If it wasn't for our ability to forget a massive amount of information that our senses receive, we could not function in normal day-to-day activities. Pollan theorizes that THC overstimulates the brain's ability to forget, which is reflected in the universal effect of cannabis to hinder short-term memory. He points out that this is one sure method to, quote, live in the moment, being much easier than with straight consciousness, which is constantly thinking about the past and the future. This could be why cannabis use is widespread among jazz musicians who improvise freely and creative people in general. To be creative, you need to be open to new ideas. It helps to be able to forget old ideas temporarily so as to be open to new ones. It gives one a sense of wonder. Wonder while wandering. A sense of wonder keeps the childlike ability to have fun alive. In Peter and Wendy, one of the original Peter Pan novels, it's explained that Peter must forget his own adventures and what he learns about the world in order to stay childlike. It's no wonder the use of cannabis and psychedelic drugs such as psilocybin mushrooms and LSD are shunned by Christian and capitalistic cultures. The origin of these drugs were rooted in the very things that both views abhor. Paganism, or the worship of nature, is viewed by Christianity as idol worship and strictly prohibited. The witches of fable that rode broomsticks were, according to Michael J. Harner in his book Hallucinogens and Shamanism, applying hallucinogenic ointment to their vaginas in a commonly found implement in medieval days, a broomstick. The subsequent flight to other realms was a dangerous idea for Christianity. How could ordinary people come to know God without the church? Somebody might be out of a job, status, wealth, and power. Christianity and capitalism revolve around the view to a better future. With Christianity, you will go to heaven, be redeemed, forgiven, or reborn in Christ. Capitalism is all about the hope of being able to improve yourself through acquisition of things or money in the future. The ability to be happy in the moment and enjoy the beauty of ordinary things when under the influence of cannabis or hallucinogens goes completely against the need to look for a better spiritual future or accumulate wealth to buy things to satisfy the need for novelty. Paradoxically, a study done in 2006 by several groups, including the Scripps Research Institute in California, found that THC inhibits a key pathological marker of Alzheimer's disease and states that compared to currently approved drugs prescribed for the treatment of Alzheimer's disease, THC is, quote, considerably superior. So maybe a little bit of short-term memory loss now and then not only helps you live in the moment and get a different, more open-minded view of the world, but it can help preserve those valuable long-term memories that we would all like to grow old with. It's easy to forget things that we need to remember and difficult to forget things we don't need to remember. You don't need to remember things that color your present thinking in a non-productive way. You need to forget about wrongs people have done to you to be able to open up to other new people. Henry Ward Beecher said, "I can forgive, but I cannot forget," is only another way of saying, "I will not forgive." Forgiveness ought to be like a canceled note, torn in two and burned up so that never can be shown against one. Close quote. Forgiving is an act of the will. Forgetting is a divine attribute. The Bible states not that God forgets, but that God does not remember. Hebrews 8, verse 12. Which for our sake is the same as forgetting. There's a story of a little girl that said she could talk to Jesus. There were so many believers in this phenomenon that the Vatican sent a priest to investigate. He interviewed the girl and said that she should ask Jesus what he had confessed to in his last confession. The next day at their meeting, the priest eagerly asked, "So, did you talk to Jesus?" The little girl replied that she did. Excitedly, the priest asked, "So what did he say about my confession?" The little girl said, "Jesus said he forgot." So either she was a very astute little girl, or she was actually talking to Jesus. What are you glad that you forgot at the time?